Hi, my friends. In the last episode, I explained to you the interplay between a behavior, habit, feelings, thoughts, and mind. I said I'll give you a case study. Normally, I keep my episodes between 6 and 7 minutes. Maybe this episode may be a little longer. I'll try to restrict it to the normal duration. 1997, I attended the Advanced Practitioners Program in NLP from NLP Comprehensive, Colorado, United States. My wife is a teacher. So I come and explain to her what NLP is and how NLP can be used to bring about a permanent change in the behavior of a person without manipulating him. But then she said, okay, if you want to be of some help, I have a student who is not coming to class at all. Can you use your NLP? See, we need to test an hypothesis and apply NLP, but I promise you that NLP will not do any harm. If at all, it may not produce a result, but it will definitely not do any harm. So I said, okay, bring him. This was sometime in December in India, in the place where we live. It's quite cold. I asked the student to come around 6 o'clock in the evening. It was quite chill. And he's seated there, I'm here, my wife is seated somewhere here. And I asked that student, come on, tell me what's the problem. And he says, no problem. And that exactly is the problem. And my wife had told me that this student is in the 8th standard and he is highly irregular to the class. He will not come to any class. So I asked him, what's the problem? He says, no problem. I said, fine. Then I asked, what class are you studying? He said, I'm in the 8th standard. Then I asked him, are you regular to class? He says, no, I'm not regular. Then I asked him, why? He says, sir, my class starts around 1:30 because we work on a shift system. Around 1 o'clock, I feel uncomfortable and so I don't feel like getting out of the house. I feel like sleeping. I said, fine, you can sleep. Because I don't want to manipulate him. But then I asked him, do you belong to a very affordable family? No, he said, my father is just a mason who works on a daily wages. I asked him, do you have a lot of property, income producing property? He said, no, sir. Then I said, how many brothers and sisters have you got? He said, I'm the eldest son and I have 2 sisters and a brother, younger brother, all of them younger. I said, fine, no problem. You don't have to go to school. Then I said, you bring your chair a little towards me, 1 foot. So he brings it and said, let's assume 1 year has gone. I said, what's happening? He thought for a while and said, sir, 1 year has gone and I'm in the same class. I said, what about your friends? He thought for a while and said, sir, they have gone to the next higher class, 9th standard. And you? I'm in the 8th standard, sir. Okay. Bring your chair even 1 more foot towards me. I said, what's happening now? He said, 2 years have gone, sir. He was able to link this geographical movement and he was able to associate, his mind was able to associate this with the movement of time. And he said, I'm struggling in the same class. Then I said, what about your friends? He said, they have gone to the 10th standard. Then I said, little more. And he said, I'm in the same standard, 10th standard. I'm now a dropout. What about your other friends? He said, they have passed out of the school and they are well settled in the higher education. I said, come a little more closer. And he came closer and said, what's happening now? Then he said, sir, I am in the same way, a school dropout. I'm now around 20 years. I'm unemployed. What about your friends? He said, all of them are employed. They have completed their school education, higher education. And you? He said, I'm unemployed. I'm unemployed, he said. At this time, we noticed he was sweating like anything. Mind you, it was winter, it was cold, chill outside, he was sweating. That means his mind is working. He is occupied by thoughts of unemployment, by thoughts of loss of income, loss of face in the society. Then I said, okay, go back. So we went back. Then I asked him to visualize a situation where he is 5 years, 6 years from now, he is unemployed. I asked him to look at the picture that he could see. See, later on we're going to discuss about visual remembered pictures, visual constructed pictures in NLP. He was able to quite see that picture. I said, do you like it? He said, sir, I don't like that. Okay, then I said, okay, let's do another thing. Now, let's say that from tomorrow you are going back to the class. Yes. Come a little forward. Now what's happening? Sir, 1 year has passed. I'm in the 9th standard. Then come nearer. What's happening now? Sir, I'm the 10th standard. So I made him to do the same exercise, but only with the difference that there is a change in his behavior. And then I asked him, what's happening now? He said, sir, about 5 years, I'm now at school. I finished my school. I finished my higher education. I'm now employed. Now I said, look at this picture. And he was able to see that visual constructed picture. I said, look at the quality of this picture. Then I gave him an option. This picture where you are not employed in 5-6 years time, you are suffering, loss of face in the society. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Now you choose between whether you want here or you want to be here. Then I gave him 2 identical notebook pages. I asked him to write option A. I don't want to go to school, and years pass and I'm unemployed. I'm not happy about this situation. And the other paper, I want to go to school, I want to complete my school education, and I want to be employed. Option 2. I took both these, folded it identically and gave it to him. I said, the choice is yours. Open both of them. Whichever you want, whichever is your first option, you keep it. The other option, you destroy. I said, I don't want to disturb you. I don't want to influence you. So he opened it. For solid 5 minutes he was thinking. Just imagine the trauma that was going in his mind, the choice he has to make and get committed. Then he took one, kept it in his pocket, and destroyed the other one. I was looking at my wife's face. We don't know which he destroyed. Then I asked him to give me that which he put it in his pocket. He had written, I want to be regular to school. I want to come up in life. And I want to prosper. I said, fine, you can go. I told my wife, it is done. She asked me, what is it? Go. From tomorrow, you will be back in school. That was a Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday, I had an NLP seminar in Hyderabad. And I go there. It was Monday afternoon. I was still in Hyderabad. At 1:30, 2 o'clock, I telephone her. I mean, in the evening, I telephone her in the evening. Did he come to school? She said, no. I was wondering, what's happening? Oh, NLP, what happened to you? Tuesday, I come back. I asked her in the evening, did he come back to school? She said, no. Wednesday, no. Thursday, She said, yes, he came back, he came to school, he took the exam, and first time he scored 75% out 75 marks out of 100. This happened several years ago, and this student is he has not only completed a school education, you'll be happy to know he's a doctor today. Now, why am I saying this? Most of the behaviors that prevent us from moving further are associated with a happy feeling, pleasant feeling. We don't want to change because it gives us happiness. We have to process the thoughts. We need to help them to take it further and think, what will happen to me if I continue to do this? This is the intellect I talked about. This is one clear example of how a behavior, a habit, a thought, and a feeling is processed in the mind of a person. See you tomorrow.